Good evening.
Good evening, all. Not even close.
Phenomena.
Yeah, you were very close to getting a do, but very far away from Magavan. Yep. So it's ma like mama, gov like government, on like yon. Yep, Magavan. Because it's Old Gaelga and it cannot be pronounced the way that it's spelled. Yep.
And then it leaves your head as soon as you have to read it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Old Gaelga into modern English typing makes it a bit of a bastard. But yeah, that is always something that kind of amuses me. But how are you doing today? Okay.
So when do you get the cone of shame off, Johnny?
Yeah. And did you purposefully do it during No Nut November just to make sure that you were...
Two birds, one stone kind of thing?
Yeah. Before the surgery or after the surgery? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Your doctor gave you a prescription for masturbation. Congratulations, dude.
And apparently he didn't want to just wait and crank them all out in 10 days. You just need some increased hydration and some zinc tablets. You're good to go.
Oh, they're saying they can't hear you in chat, Johnny. Well, you guys can hear me in Sanguine, is what you're saying, right?
I should hope so. Otherwise, they should have said we can't hear any of you.
Okay, that's an affirmative from
Okay,
Cannibalistic.
I need to get a new mic. The plug-in's starting to slip.
Yeah, you sound substantially less like you're talking through someone's asshole.
That's what my doctor said.
Maybe you should have gone to the other side of him before you started speaking then. Or at least told him, hold open your mouth. But yeah.
Time to begin the journey.
Exactly. So how about you, Camel? How are you doing? Since Johnny hasn't gone about the niceties, I'll go about the niceties, because fuck it!
I'm doing all right. I had a lazy day. I slept in, just did a little hibernating on my day off.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to get some house cleaning and stuff done yesterday. Run a few errands. So today I've just been listening to the madness of Yay and reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was listening before the stream. I was listening to Adam and Sitch going over the appearance of Fuentes and Ye on Alex Jones's InfoWars.
People are getting the wrong lesson out of this Kanye shit. And oddly enough, There's one person that got the right message that they're promptly going to forget.
Would you go ahead and enlighten the chat who that is?
So the one person that got the right take on this was actually Jon Stewart. I know, surprising to a lot of people to hear that Jon Stewart was actually right on something for a change again. But Jon Stewart was talking about the Kanye issue. And he said that what they're doing is the worst way of going about this. Because when someone has a conspiratorial thought like the ones that Ye has been voicing, and they think that this group or that group is out to get them, and that they're being silenced by them, the worst thing that you could possibly do is silence them and immediately come out in force saying, you can't say that. What the fuck? You aren't allowed to say that. You shouldn't be allowed to say anything. You need to be silenced. Because that, rather than making them go, oh shit, maybe I was wrong, as I've said many fucking times, if you look at the person who's saying, I'm going to be silenced, I'm going to be persecuted, I'm going to be held back, I'm going to be held down, and you silence, and you persecute, and you hold them back, and you hold them down, you've just made that person a fucking prophet. If the person who's saying, I'm going to be silenced, just continues speaking, and everyone goes, well, you aren't being silenced.
Oh, you're a crazy asshole.
Yeah, you're a crazy asshole. And that's what you stay when you aren't silenced. But the moment that you say, I'm going to be silenced, and then someone comes out of the crowd and says, fuck you, you aren't allowed to say that, more people go, hold on, was he right? What you need to do when you have an insane asshole saying things that are insane, engage with them intellectually. You don't do this so much for them, though it can help some of them. It depends on how far gone they are. But sometimes it can help them. But you engage with them on a rational level. You go, okay, so why do you believe what you believe? And then you take what they say is the reason that they believe what they believe, and you see if you can disassemble that. If you can, disassemble it. This is how you can actually change someone's mind. And you have to do this nicely. That's a big part of this. You have to do it nicely. And this is something that we see time and again when it comes to changing someone with a bad idea, his mind. How many people have you ever heard say, well, I used to think X until someone punched me in the face enough? I used to think that this group were a bunch of assholes, and then enough of them decided that they would kick in my kidneys. No one's going to say that. If someone thinks that one group is entirely villainous, and then that group kicks the shit out of them, they immediately point to the fact that they just had the shit kicked out of them and go, see? I was telling you what these savages were doing. I was telling you that we were going to do this, and they did it. Whereas, when you look at when people are actually persuaded, when you look at when their minds change, it's always in a Daryl Davis scenario. Do you guys remember who Daryl Davis is?
He is the black gentleman who talked a bunch of dudes out of the Klan.
Yeah. He is the black blues musician.
See, I would have said jazz. I didn't think blues.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he's a blues musician that talked over 200 people out of the Klan. And the way that he did it was he'd perform a show. Someone would say something slightly nasty about him. He'd sit down next to him, offer to buy him a drink, start talking with the guy. And he wouldn't call the guy an asshole. He wouldn't do anything like that. He'd just talk with the guy. and he'd be polite. He wouldn't be subservient. He wouldn't be obsequious. He wouldn't cower before the person. No, he would just sit down and talk. He wouldn't agree to things that he didn't agree to. He wouldn't be angry at things that he didn't think he should be angry at, and he didn't think that he should be angry at their insults, because this is someone who doesn't fucking know him. And that was what he did. And you see that time and fucking again when it comes to people that change their mind. There's a bunch of articles from back before 2016 that were immediately brushed under the rug after 2016. And it was various people that were white supremacists earlier on in their life. And they came out with what their story was. And it was almost entirely that they were white supremacists. They were massively against Jewish people. They were in a really bad place. And then someone who they were aware of, and that person was aware that they were against Jews, and that person happened to be a Jew, would give them a hand. There's one who was talking about how his family was falling apart. He was a white supremacist at the time. He was avidly anti-Jewish, and he was going to school. And he was alone for the holidays because his family was falling apart. And another guy at the school who was Jewish came up and said, "Look, I know that you don't like me, but you're alone on the holiday. Would you like a good meal?" And he took the guy to meet his family, had a meal with them, and never once did he bring it up that the guy was anti-Semitic. Never once did he insult the guy. Never once did he do anything. He just saw a guy who was having a hard time, tried to make it easier. And that was the moment that the dude was crediting as his turning point, as the point where he realized, holy shit, I've been wrong. Because rather than being yelled at, rather than being laughed at, rather than being called a piece of shit, which, yes, someone who is anti-Semitic is absolutely a piece of shit. But rather than having all that happen, it was someone who saw him and treated him like a person. And they did so knowing who he was. They did so knowing what he said. And they still did it.
And
that's how you change someone's mind.
I think we're buffering.
Oh, fantastic.
Or at least it looks like it.
If we're buffering for you guys out there, do let us know, especially since you will not hear me tell you if we're buffering out there, if we are.
Doesn't appear to be buffering on my end.
Okay, so it might just be Johnny's connection.
So let's see here.
But yeah,
Oh, it must just be mine.
That's something that, like I said, you see time and again when you actually look into what changes people's minds. There's two things that will change a person's mind. A person that engages with them honestly and kindly from the opposite side can change a person's mind. It won't always change a person's mind, but it can change a person's mind. Kicking the shit out of someone cannot change their mind in any real sense. It can make them say what you want them to say, but it cannot change their mind. And then the other thing that will change someone's mind is seeing what they've been advocating for firsthand and being honest and going, oh my god, this is fucked up. This is how you have Wells. Wells changed his mind in that fashion.
Wells.
1984, Animal Farm. The author?
That's Orwell.
Orwell.
Yeah.
Sorry, Orwell. I always confuse Orwell and Wells. Orwell.
Well,
My
you're,
mistake.
you're,
So,
you're
you were
really
thinking
close.
You were thinking
Welles.
Orson Welles?
Yeah, I always mix up those two names for some reason.
Well, when you said
Orwell.
1984, I was thinking you meant a character in the book. I was like, I don't
No.
remember a character named Wells.
Orwell. Sorry. For some reason, those two names always get crossed in my mind. But
It's the well part. We get it.
I still
Yeah.
think it's funny that there's an
All
actual
Wells look the
video
same.
game based on Animal Farm.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, there's a video game based on Animal Farm?
Yeah,
Which one?
it's Animal Farm. It's,
I've never played it. never
it's-
heard of it
it's-
until now.
yeah, it's George Orwell's Animal Farm.
I was
It's-
unaware of this.
It is on Steam, and it is $10, and it is far too much to pay for that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it is on my wish list, and I'm waiting for that to drop.
I don't want to pay $10 to end up playing a horse.
yeah, it
I
was-
think you start off as a pig, but
Well, pigs
no,
are
I mean,
more equal.
you remember what happened to the horse, though, right?
I actually have never seen it or read it.
You read it.
I know it's a movie too, but I haven't seen it.
He's just a big dumb laborer who ends up dying
Mm-hmm.
and works himself to death.
Big, dumb, honest, good-hearted.
Mm-hmm. Until he got turned into glue.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's Orwell. He was a socialist for a period of his life. Do you know what made him change his mind?
Getting
around
punched in the
socialists.
face.
Being around socialists and realizing there's a quote that the other one who I'm about to mention often cites that is originally from Orwell, and it is, they don't care, they don't do what they do for the love of the poor, they do it for the hatred of the rich.
Hmm.
And that was what pissed him off, because he realized that as many times as they said that they were doing this for the working man, that they were trying to help the working man, that they were trying to help the poor, he saw the disgust every single one of them had for people that were actually working, for people that were actually poor. And it turned his stomach. So he realized that they're just full of shit. They're after power. They're after power, and they're covetous of that which others have that they don't. Another person that changed their mind because they saw what they were advocating for, and they realized, oh good god, I fucked up. Soul.
Oh,
You guys
Thomas
know
Sowell?
the... Yep. Do you guys know the story about Thomas Sowell?
He was. Did he say he was a communist in
Yep.
college? And then he got a job working at the Department of Labor, wasn't it?
Yep.
And he saw just the waste and everything of it.
He saw the complete fecklessness of government, which made him realize that
Now it
The
was
government.
it was spending money and stuff to try and promote these things. It's like, well,
what's
if
the
you
effect
actually
of
if
this?
you
Has
actually
anyone
wanted
looked into
to,
the effect?
yeah.
And
Have we tried
every
to actually
time-
measure the success of these things?
Yep. And every time he would get kind of stonewalled, and then he would eventually push through enough that he would start looking into what he was questioning. And when he looked into what he was questioning, he would find out, oh God, this actually has the opposite effect that we wanted it to have. So let me quickly report this up to my higher ups so that they know what's going on, so that we can end this program. And he was then stonewalled. And people would start giving him trouble. Then he ignored it the first time. He ignored it the second time. The third time, he couldn't ignore it. The fourth time, he couldn't ignore it. And then eventually he just went, this is fucking government. This is how government works. People do things in order to say that they've done things, but they never want to look into whether or not it actually had the effect that they wanted it to have. Because if it didn't, and they have to remove it, that looks bad. That looks worse than if they never look into it and they just keep on doing the harm.
Better to save face and be ignorant than to...
Yep. Which, once you learn that lesson, it becomes fucking impossible to say, you know what will fix this problem? The government. So once he had that realization, he started rethinking what he was advocating for, what he thought would be the solutions, and he realized all of these end up being the government. The government isn't going to fix a fucking thing. It'll make things worse. So he started advocating against using the government as the catch-all solution, rather than being dead set on the government being the catch-all solution.
I think that's where Rotten Corpse's sound clip of the worst thing you want to hear from the government is I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Yeah, the 9 scariest words in the English language.
Yeah.
Yep, that's from Reagan.
Yep.
The other line that I love from Reagan is, nothing is more permanent than a temporary government power. Because that is 100% correct, and it is woefully correct.
But I have been kind of enjoying listening to Adam and Sitch with the coverage of Kanye. The big winner from Kanye going on Infowars, definitely Alex Jones.
Yeah.
He looks sane in comparison.
Say again?
I said the big winner from Kanye and Fuentes going on Alex Jones is Alex Jones, because he looks sane by comparison.
It's kind of funny when Alex Jones looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, like,
Like,
I think as Adam was saying, is like Alex looked like Joe Rogan looked like when Alex was going crazy on his show.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that was entertaining, and also there's I've been seeing a few memes popping up on the timeline with his like there was the one that the you remember Kanye's line about George Bush doesn't care about black people. And someone just took that screenshot of Mike Myers looking over him like, what the fuck, man? And they said Kanye West doesn't care about Jewish people.
Nice.
Of course, there's one there's a good one of they photoshopped him onto a picture of like Hitler, in the uniform and everything.
yeah, I've seen that one. Multitudes of that one.
Yeah, the black and white is straight on photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, when it comes to Alex Jones absolutely says insane shit. But the thing that's infuriating about Alex Jones is there are times that he says sane shit just in the most insane way. Where you're going, God damn it, what?
Well, I mean, he's already been
Why do you have to
sued
say
for
it that way?
He's already been sued for the GDP of a small, country or state. So,
Oh,
what are they gonna do? Sue him again?
And that is fucked up, the lawsuits that are going on about him.
Well, like I said, he's the big winner of this Kanye meltdown so far.
There's no way in hell that the people should be able to sue him for the amount that they are suing him for. There's one person that I know of that should absolutely be able to sue him and should be able to sue him for a sizable amount of money. Not $1 billion sizable amount of money, but a sizable amount of money. Because there's one person that one of the people on his show did dox. They read off the person's address live on air. Alex was not in the room when this happened, but it's his show.
Yeah, it's his program he's putting out. He is a publisher, right?
Yep. And that resulted in that person's home getting targeted.
Yeah.
Him getting harassed. He had to leave that home. And he went to another home because they had already found out who he was from the first time that he was doxxed. They were able to figure out where he was living then. So they pursued him to that home, started doing shit at that home, started harassing him there. And he again went away to a new place. So this is the third home that he's in now, right?
Okay.
They followed him to the third fucking home.
See, this is where I would take Joe Biden's advice and just buy a shotgun.
Yep.
Probably
Only I
between
wouldn't
houses
shoot it in
1
the
and
air.
2.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot it in the air. But
No, center mass, as always.
that guy, I could understand that guy getting a massive payout. Again, not billions, but a massive payout.
I thought those types of suits had like caps.
Well,
So-
I mean, you have different types of damages, and some damages may have caps on them, but not all of them necessarily, depending on the state.
Unfortunately, the one that is the most infuriating in how easily it can be abused is the one without a cap. A good chunk of the
Punitive.
time. The emotional and punitive, yeah. Those
Yeah.
are the two that tend not to have the caps. And both of those should have...
Emotional pain and suffering.
Yeah, the emotional pain and suffering. That's the one that I was talking about, where it's how the fuck do you quantize that? And it's very easy for someone to say, well, they ruined my life, so I deserve $1 million. Was your life worth $1 million? If your life was not worth $1 million, how the fuck are you saying that you deserve $1 million?
A good one, like if you're being sued necessarily by like a spouse, is loss of consortium.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be damn near anything.
Yep. And that shit is infuriating because it should be...
He raked the leaves. Now I got to pay someone to rake the leaves or rake them myself. Give me money for that.
Yep. It should be that there's a cap. And I could understand if it was a percentage cap on shit like that. Like the amount that the person ends up paying is... Make it so that there's a monetary minimum and a percentage cap. And it's to whichever's higher is the limit. So a monetary minimum, if the person doesn't make enough to meet that with the percentage cap, then yeah, you can go up to the monetary minimum as the maximum amount that the person has to pay. If they make enough that the maximum percentage exceeds that mandatory minimum, then that becomes the maximum charge. That's what I think it should be set up as.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't think like loss of consortium is necessarily there's definitely reasons for it.
Oh yeah.
Like spouse paying bills and this and that, or actually being stuff like around the house that they take care of that now you're on the hook for. But you can like throw a ton of stuff under that and it's still stick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just infuriating because it's so goddamn broad. There's no way in hell that Alex Jones should be getting sued for several $billion.
Hey, Sanguine,
Mm-hmm.
you want to take a left turn?
Sure.
I just saw something. You know who Rochelle Walensky is? Yes, of course, right?
Yes.
Was it CDC director?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about them renaming monkeypox?
I have not.
Oh,
You know what they're
yeah.
calling it now?
What?
Mpox.
Great. So it's now
So,
the
so
M
now we just
word.
added the step of people asking, "What's the M stand for?"
Yep.
Because yeah, she retweeted the HHS today. HHS announces it will adopt the WHO's new preferred term Mpox instead of monkeypox disease, and will use it from now on to avoid stigma around the disease and further promote access to quality care. I'm sorry. How does renaming it? How does monkeypox stigmatize this? First of all, they kind of lost me there.
Yep.
It's not like they're calling it gay monkeypox. That would be, more on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well,
How many of you are
something
voting
else.
no?
Voting no.
I started a poll.
We got, oh,
No, he should not pay you.
I mean,
I
you
think
be standing in line for a while, Johnny.
Yeah.
There are definitely people ahead of you in that queue.
I got kids to feed.
I mean, you'd probably have a better chance of getting money out of him if you had a slip and fall at the InfoWars studios. But
Yeah.
I mean, just sitting in Montana, I don't really see it.
Yeah, there is that catch if you want to give him that.
But yeah, I just like this. This person said, "Mpox is my favorite Hanson song."
That's pretty good. It's the stupid shit of we need to rename things. No, just let's be fucking honest about shit.
Well, no. Here, I mean, I read you what she quote tweeted from the HHS, but what she actually said was, following WHO recommendations, CDC will now begin using the term Mpox. We welcome and support the renaming to Mpox to reduce stigma and barriers to care for those most impacted. Who's most impacted, and why does monkeypox stigmatize them? Like that, I'm not seeing the connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Explain to me. At least take the time to explain to me how this is stigmatizing. Come on.
monkey isn't a slur for gay people. And it's not as insult or as stigma to say, yeah, gay people are most susceptible to monkeypox. Because that's just a statement that if you have unprotected anal sex, you are more susceptible to sexually transmitted diseases. Who's the group most likely to have unprotected anal sex? The people that, when they have sex, their sex is unprotected anal sex. That's the group that's most likely going to have unprotected anal sex. Straight people have options.
Oh, see,
Lesbians.
apparently this tweet was from the 28th, and somebody retweeted it with the Hanson reference.
Nice.
Because like the top two replies that I'm seeing are Monkey and Siraj Hashmi.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them saying, "What does the M stand for?"
Nice.
It's like that's a logical question. That's a logical first question to ask when you're saying, "Yeah, we're renaming this to this."
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you guys remember MTV, right?
Yep.
It used to be music television. Now it's just MTV.
Yep.
And everyone asks the same question. What's the M supposed to stand for?
Yep. The best version of a similar thought is still I can't remember which one. Was it Bill Burr or was it Louis that did the Fuck the N-word. All you're doing is you're making me say it in my own head.
That's Louis.
That was
CK.
Louis. You know, stop calling it the N-word, because now you're putting it in my head and making me a part of this. You know.
Yep. You want to say this shit? Say it. Don't make me say it in my head. Translate
For you.
from your cowardice.
Yeah, that was Louis. I'm trying to think. I don't recall Bill Burr having a bit about the N-word.
Like I said, I couldn't remember which one. I knew it was one of the gingers.
I mean, he's talked about black people, but I don't recall him specifically talking about that.
I don't think he's ever said it.
No. Or even addressed it. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, what's the M stand for, Rochelle? Tell me. Inquiring minds want to know.
It's just infuriating because let's change the word. Doesn't matter what the word is. It matters the intention. You can say any word in a way where it sounds loving. You can say any word in a way that makes it sound like an insult. Perfect example. Saying someone's a genius is a good thing, right?
Depends on how you say it.
Exactly. Genius, by definition, is a good thing. It means that you're intelligent. But if you end up having someone do something stupid and you go, "Great job, genius," you're calling them a fucking idiot. Now, if people just kept on using "great job, genius" as a way of calling people fucking idiots, and someone got pissed off and went, "Well, we need to use a different word. We need to get rid of the usage of genius because genius is insulting to people who are being called idiots." Okay, you got rid of genius. Great job, idiot. Well, we need to get rid of idiot. Real smart. We need to get rid of smart. Okay, moron. We need to get rid of... Doesn't matter what the fuck it is. You have endless words to...
I'm partial to using the word dunce myself.
Yeah. You have endless
You
words.
absolute dunce. That's a nice way to, that's a nice little exclamation at the end of a sentence right there.
Yeah. You have endless words that you can apply a myriad of different tones to. You can make genius a loving compliment. You can make genius a horrendous insult. You can do this with any fucking word. This is the reason why a lot of things that used to be a lot of things that can be slurs are also just the name of the group.
Well, that's a
Jew.
That is oh shit. Doug Stanhope had a bit talking about the changing of words and how you can't say retard.
Yep.
And what he brought up with the instead of saying, I guess, something about Downs, just brought up like the what's the medical deal for Downs?
There's a couple different ones. Are you talking about mongoloid?
No. Like the actual condition that causes Down syndrome.
Oh, trisomy 21.
That's the one. I
thought you were looking for
right there at the tip of my
medical name.
Yeah. But yeah, he brought that up as a way to call someone retarded. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna find a different way. He's like, there's no point. We're just we're gonna keep conveying the sentiment. We're just gonna end up using a different word.
Yeah. I'll call you a fucking chromosome smuggler. Which, by my way, favorite way of calling someone a retard.
Tier said that's starting to sound like Harrison Bergeron. So we went from Orwell to Vonnegut.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's really funny. My youngest got sent to the
principal's office.
Sent to the principal's office.
Mm-hmm.
What'd he do?
Well, he called the kid a retard. And
Was the kid being retarded?
I mean, if you ask him.
Well, I mean, well, no, I
Good
mean,
on him.
like, was he actually developmentally challenged, and your son was calling him a retard, or
No.
was it a normal kid just being retarded?
This is the normal kid being retarded.
Okay,
And so
so far so good. What's going on? What? He got caught, or did they snitch him out?
Oh no, he loud and proud. So the teacher goes, "No, you need to apologize to him." Oh, and there goes Sanguine. I gotta
Like-
wait. I gotta wait for him to get back for this because he will enjoy that. So while we're waiting for Sanguine, we gotta put the pause on that story for a bit. How is the weather down there?
It's high 40s right now. I'm keeping it nice and toasty with the space heater. So, but yeah, it was fairly chilly for me today. So like I said, I snuggled up in bed and just snoozed. Man, I was hibernating,
Yeah,
enjoying that day off.
we dropped down to 14
Yeah, that's too cold.
and got I'd say about 4 inches of snow.
I think it's funny how like the people I predominantly stream with online are all like, you guys are almost Canadian. Like 80 degrees sounds too hot to you guys. It's like, that's no.
80 degrees is fine.
I mean, 40 to 80, that's not a bad, not terrible
Yeah.
spread. I'll grant you in the summertime when it's 105, yes, too hot. I'll concede that.
Yes.
But we're only talking like 2 months a year.
Hey, Travis.
Hey, Travis, how's it going? See, we talk about weather and another Oklahoman just pops up. His ears were burning. He's like, someone's talking about the weather. I need to go see what this is about.
Someone's talking about weather or appliances. It's one of the two.
How's it going, Travis? No, I did start reading. Like I said, I was passively listening to the the Kanye meltdown, but I started reading. You're familiar with the character Jack Reacher, right, Johnny?
Yes.
Uh,
As far as
oh, Travis just woke up. Yeah, man, we're all in that hibernation mode. It's the 1st of December. Like, it's time to just hunker down.
as far as the video sense goes, I know of Jack Reacher.
You're familiar with like the Tom Cruise movies,
Tom
or did you
Cruise-
watch the series?
I watched
on
the series, which is supposed to be more true to form. So I've watched both.
Well, I have not watched the series yet. I decided I was going to read the book first because they
Okay.
actually had the author as an executive producer, and the guy playing Reacher, Alan Richson, he was saying like, he really liked the books, and they were, trying to get it, more closely.
I like the series better.
You like the series better than the movies?
Yep.
Well, I'm looking forward to it because it's got, like I said, Alan Richson. He's pretty good. I know him from comedy, so it's gonna be interesting to see him doing action, thriller kind of stuff. But also, oh shit, what's that character's name again? The chief of detectives, the black guy, is played by Malcolm Reynolds. I think is his last name. And I've enjoyed him, watching him on iZombie and. You ever see Breakout Kings?
I watched a couple episodes. It didn't stick with me.
Well, that's a shame. It didn't stick with a whole bunch of people. But, I mean, it actually had a pretty good cast with him and Serena Swan and Laz Alonso. And, oh, shit, what's that white guy's name? I forget. He's in a bunch of stuff, too. I think he was on, like House of Cards and whatnot. He pops up everywhere. You don't have the IMDb pulled up yet, do you, Johnny?
I have already done that.
Okay. because that name's gonna drive me crazy.
And for your information, Dante, it is 8 here. And we've got about, I'd say about 7 inches of snow. 7 or 8.
Sanguine message. Internet shit the bed, trying to get it fixed.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm enjoying the book so far. I'm only like 5 or 6 chapters in. The way Lee Child is the author. The way he's writing it, it works. It works for me.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to finishing that, and then I've got the Terminal List by Jack Carr. And are you aware of that one?
Which one?
The Terminal List.
That
was also made into a series on Amazon. It's got Chris Pratt.
I saw the ad for the series, and it's on my watch list.
Yeah, well, the author, he was also involved with that production, which is why I wanted to read the books first and then see how closely they were able to get it with their involvement. Because I know that there are going to be possibly changes having to be made for the sake of the mediums, right? But these are also series, so they're going to be able to get more in depth with the story than they would like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. And I brought up Breakout Kings.
We're talking Fahrenheit. We're talking freedom units. Cannibalistic. 880 is warm. I'll give you that. But Oklahoma's also a windy place, so you've always got at least like a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind blowing that air around. So it feels pretty decent actually. And then of course you can always just hop in the shade and you're golden. You pull up Breakout Kings.
Yep. Which character were you looking for?
He's the white convict they've got on the team. Because Malcolm Reynolds and Serena Swan, and it's this other guy, and then Laz Alonso is their handler.
Let's see. Kind of looks like the thick neck guy. Or are you talking about the guy from that other movie? That Jason Biggs movie.
Because I can see his face. I just can't remember his name.
Because there's Dominic Lombardozzi.
Is that? No. Dominic Lombardozzi. He's another one of the cops.
Okay.
He and Laz Alonso are, I think, partners. The guy I'm talking. Oh, Malcolm Goodwin is not Malcolm Reynolds. Where did I get Reynolds from? Yeah, Malcolm Goodwin. He's a good actor. Serena Swan. Jimmy Simpson. He played Lloyd Lowry. He's been in a bunch of stuff too. I think he was a hacker, like in season 2 or 3 of House of Cards.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing that really sticks out for me for him is that Jason Biggs movie where he plays a guy who makes drugs.
Oh wow, they've changed up IMDb.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's a fucking mess.
Oh. I heard you complain about this the other night. I hadn't been over there yet. Yeah, I see what you were. Yeah.
Welcome to the newer version of this page. Yeah, go back.
Oh, he was roommates with Charlie Day. Good for him. I just want to see his acting credits, man. But yeah, like I said, done a bunch of stuff.
Psych 2, that's right. He was in Psych.
He was in Unsolved, the Murders of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. Person of Interest. I caught a couple episodes of that. House of Cards. Yeah, that's right. Gavin Orsay. 17 episodes. Oh, he was in more than I thought. I don't know if Sanguine's going to be back in time for you to finish that story, man.
Probably not. I will wait.
And Travis says you need to be in the part of Oklahoma that has trees to be able to go stand in the shade. Yeah, I'm in that part, so
Ah, yeah, it wasn't date night.
I never actually got around to watching that.
It was an alright movie.
No, oh, that sucks for that dude. Some dude was trying to propose to his chick like Titanic, had her, on the bow of the boat with the arms and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then as she was going to turn back towards him, he reached into his pocket to pull out the box with the engagement ring. It hit the deck and then went in the drink.
Oh, boo.
And he jumped in after it. Dude, just I've never proposed to a chick, but if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be on dry land with both feet on the ground, not on a boat or a hot air balloon or any other like green eggs and ham scenario. I can't understand why people got to try and overcomplicate that shit. And definitely, if you're in the audience now or in the future and you're listening to my voice, don't propose to a chick at a stadium.
Nope.
I mean, it's a 50-50 toss up. You're going to end up like Ralph Wiggum. We're just going to see like the moment your heart breaks and be able to rewind it.
It just on a loop.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just if you're gonna propose to a chick, just remember the word kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
6 of you were nice to me. The other 5, or 6 of you were mean to me. The other 5, I applaud you.
Huh?
I ended the
Your poll.
Yeah.
I mean, I voted no. Sorry.
I'm a sure, Camel. I'm a sure. All right. Well, I guess we're not getting Sanguine back anytime soon. So I guess I will continue the story.
Yeah.
So
He calls this kid a retard.
Calls
Teacher overhears it.
Teacher overhears it, has him apologize, and he does. And
Was it like a legit apology, or was it like one of those Dave Chappelle apologies where like, yeah.
well, he starts off by saying like,
I'm sorry for calling you a retard and yada 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 blah 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 whatever else I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the teacher tells him, you have to say it like you mean it and don't say the word.
Don't say yada yada yada.
Well, he's like, I'm sorry, you're a retard. Like,
good boy.
Well, she had him apologize.
You tell him Uncle Camel is proud.
Oh no, this kid. I am worried about this kid. This kid is going to get everyone canceled in the family. There's going to be a cancel Rocky, but by the time he hits high school. So I get to. He is told to re-apologize. So he goes, okay. He goes, kid, I'm sorry you're a Patrick Star wannabe. And the teacher, because she doesn't know what's going on, she goes, what? and all the kids in the class are like, he just called him a retard again.
The teacher. How long has this teacher been teaching? Like, how old is this person? Are they not aware of SpongeBob?
I have no idea.
I mean, like SpongeBob got started when my sisters were still watching cartoons, so I'm at least aware of like all the characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
I caught what the kid was saying immediately.
Oh yeah.
How's this person who who works with children all day unaware?
No, it's no, it's not that I'm gonna get canceled. My son's gonna get canceled. And he's gonna get canceled long before I get my YouTube shut down. The way he goes, it's gonna be quick. So yeah, he goes to the kid and he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry that you're a Patrick Star wannabe." And the kids start laughing. The kid's offended again. The other kid is offended again. And
Remind me again, like what grade are we talking here? I don't need like specific ages, but
he is 12 when this happened.
Okay, so you do realize I just asked for a grade level, and you gave me the age after I said I didn't need.
Well,
like,
yeah. The only thing I remember was the age.
So what are we talking like? What, like 6th grade?
6th or 7th?
Although I would hope by 6th grade, you know, I mean, SpongeBob's been going a long, long time. Is it still going? Is it like there are new SpongeBob episodes still? Yeah. I would hope by 6th grade they had moved on to something else to like use as an insult, but I can see SpongeBob references being like 5th grade and below insults. Okay.
Yeah. Now, I was walking. I bumped into them at the grocery store.
What, the retarded kid and his family?
No, with me and my kids and my ex, and we were talking about, you know, buying school clothes for the kids, and we're like, you know, what kind of stuff are you wanting to wear? And they're just like, clothes. like they don't really give a shit.
Well, that's good, kid, because a loincloth in Montana probably won't do you much good.
Yeah, no. Not in the winter. But my wife,
I'm being summoned one moment.
well, my ex goes, well, we could just dress you up in... Oh, there he is. Welcome back.
Everything just died on my goddamn computer. So I had to first fiddle fuck around, see if I could bring back up the internet. Then, because the internet was the first thing that crapped out. Then after the internet crapped out for a while, it ended up going out with everything. Just everything froze up rock solid. So then I had to shut down the fucker, bring it back up, and then it took some time for it to come back up. Now I'm able to get back in. Good fucking God, that was a pain in the ass.
So how much of the story did you catch before?
I was mid-rant when I fell out of the conversation.
Ah.
So, wherever that rant got clipped off, that's where I was.
So you didn't even hear my part.
No.
No, I was going off on a story about my son getting in trouble for calling a kid a retard.
Oh, I did hear that bit.
Okay.
I did hear your son got in trouble for calling a kid a retard, and we were trying to determine what was the kid being retarded.
Yeah.
You're ducking a little bit there, Sanguine.
Yeah.
Because if the kid was being retarded, then... Say again?
You're ducking a little bit, and it's going a little robot-y when you do.
Okay, is this
Okay,
coming
yep.
in clear?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So, I remember you talking about your son getting in trouble for calling someone a retard, and Camel and I were both in the process of trying to figure out, well, was the kid being a little retard?
Yeah. Oh, like we all came to the same question: was he being retarded?
Yeah.
Like even the guys in chat were asking.
Yeah, because
So continue,
if someone's being a retard, it's perfectly fine to go fucking retard.
Well, long story short, and I did the punchline with everyone else already. He ended up apologizing, saying, "I'm sorry that you're a Patrick Star wannabe."
Nice.
To which the teacher had no idea what he was talking about, but the kids were like, the kids in the class were like, he just called him a retard again.
Yep.
I'm like, well, and it depends on which sphere of entertainment you're talking, because
Yep.
He could have called him a faggot.
Yep. And see, that's one thing that I was about to bring up. There's now this one I'm can't remember which fucking ginger said it, but it was this one I think was Burr did the bit on a faggot isn't anything against gay people. Sometimes someone's just being a bit of a faggot.
That's both, actually.
If of them have done that one? Okay.
Mainly, Louis C.K. was the one who was like, you know, if there are two people and they're enjoying each other's company,
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's, you know, them being gay.
Mm-hmm.
But if I should happen to, you know, walk down an alley and I see a guy blowing another guy, you know, it's fine until he says something faggy. Like,
Yep.
people from Phoenix are Phoenicians.
Get back to sucking a cock.
Stop being a faggot and suck that dick.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a difference between being gay and being a faggot. And sometimes someone's just retarded. And when someone's being retarded, you should be allowed to say, you're being retarded.
Well, and that goes back to Tom Segura's Netflix special that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Where he got in trouble for a joke a joke where the punchline is, you shouldn't say retarded. And
Okay, so this was his Dave Chappelle moment.
And actually, I think that came out before the closer.
Oh, okay. So Dave Chappelle's closer was his Tom Segura moment then.
And he goes,
Tells an entire story about how he has a trans friend that he absolutely fucking loved and she committed suicide.
well, it doesn't go that far.
I know, I'm saying for the closer. That's what he did. He told a story about how he had a trans friend that he absolutely fucking loved. And then he gets called anti-trans.
Yeah, he people tried to get his special pulled off of Netflix because he used the word retarded.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was in a joke about how you can't say retarded anymore.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he found the tweet and he quote tweeted it saying, at Netflix, that if you take my special off of Netflix, that would be retarded.
Nice. That should be the proper response.
I take my sweater off.
So I think Kanye got suspended again.
Yeah, he's
Which won't do anything except for convince him even more that he's fucking right.
Yep. Yeah, he's suspended. We live in the weirdest timeline, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, like, just when someone says something that you think is wrong, explain to them why it's wrong. And try to figure out why they think it's right. And see if you can argue against the reasons that they think it's right. You'll have far more success doing that than you will with this. Oh, they think that they're being suppressed. Need to suppress them now.
Yeah, you can't prove someone wrong by proving them right.
Well, Razorfist put out
Yeah.
a video right before we went, or well, not right before, but like shortly before we went live. It was like a little, I think, 6 minute and change video about Kanye. And I thought it was funny. At the end of it, he played a clip from Norm Macdonald doing Weekend Update, and it was about how Marlon Brando went and had a meeting with the Jewish leaders to apologize for saying that Hollywood was run by the Jews. And afterwards, they accepted his apology, so that he is now free to work again.
Yep. Again, you don't prove someone wrong by going, yes, you're absolutely right, but you aren't allowed to say it. Because that's functionally when someone says, well, if you speak out against the Jews, you'll never be able to work in Hollywood. And that's wrong. And then people go, well, now you can never work in Hollywood. They're going to take that as, so I spoke out against Jews and I'm never allowed to work in Hollywood, so I was right. That's not how you fucking disprove something. You don't disprove it by, I'm going to be silenced. Damn right you are. And you should realize how wrong you are by us silencing you. I just said that you were going to silence me. What the fuck do you mean I should learn how wrong I was by you silencing me? You just proved me fucking right.
So other than the madness of King Yi, anything else going on?
There's that shit going on. There's the riots in China. Have you guys heard about that yet?
I have not.
So, a number of different areas of China are currently completely rioting. And there's two things that are going on there. There's the news that's coming out of the CCP shills, which is, oh no, it's just one area. And it's not a riot against COVID restrictions and COVID controls, but it's actually a riot against Foxconn. And they're just pissed off about that, except they aren't destroying Foxconn property. They're destroying fucking COVID testing sites. So that is not what they're fucking going for now, is it? If they were going for Foxconn, they would be destroying Foxconn's area. They aren't. They're destroying testing booths and shit like that. And they aren't being cracked down on by Foxconn security. They're being cracked down on by police from all over China, military police from all over China, and shit like that. So, not a protest against Foxconn. Also, these protests are happening in areas other than the one that they say that they're happening in that don't have Foxconn sites. And that's infuriating that you still have people trying to go, well, it's not that they're protesting against the part. No, they're protesting against this shit. Also, did you guys hear about the recent information out of Canada?
I did not.
So, you remember the trucker protest, of course?
Yeah.
So, you remember how Trudeau cracked down on them and did so in a rather totalitarian-esque fashion, shall we say?
I remember him ducking out.
Say again?
I remember him ducking out.
He ducked out, but then he also activated emergency powers and then started abducting their money, is still going after them, trying to arrest them and charge them functionally with terrorism, and was calling them racist and sexist and everything like that. Just absolutely going after them in barbaric ways. Well, new information just came out about that. First off, Trudeau clearly lies through his fucking teeth because there's a court case going on against Trudeau, seeing if he abused his powers. And he was asked, does he not think that he was vilifying the protesters when he called them racist, sexist, and xenophobes? And do you know what his response to that question was? I never called them that.
Someone in Parliament should have said, let's roll the tape.
Yeah, someone should have done that. But
let's go to the footage.
The only thing that I can think is he's saying that he didn't say that because they said it in English.
He said it in French.
He did it in French. Because, yeah, when he called them racist, sexist, xenophobes, Nazis, and shit like that, he did it in French. And that is the only thing that I can think of that's making him go, yeah, I can say that I didn't do this. Is I said it in French. I didn't say it in English. They said it in English.
And we all know that French isn't a real language, so it's like he didn't say it at all.
Yep. So that is infuriating. But the even more infuriating part, in my opinion, is what was said by both Trudeau and one of his ministers. Do you know who was the one who pushed him to crack down like that?
No.
I'll give you a hint. His brain is melting. Any guesses?
I mean, that still describes a fair few number of people.
Joe Biden called on the Friday. He had a lengthy conversation where apparently the contents of the conversation were something along the lines of, get this shit sorted before it starts affecting our trade. We don't care what you do. And the result was on Saturday was when he declared emergency powers and started his crackdown.
Oh, well, hey, side note. Since it's now officially December, guess what? It's eggnog season.
Nice.
Gross.
So which...
That just means more for me, Johnny.
Yep.
Huh?
Which rum are you going to go for in your eggnog?
I don't do the alcoholic eggnog, actually.
Ah.
I just grab some from the store.
Just the carton?
I sprung for 2, but yeah.
Nice.
So I still don't like, when I go driving anywhere, if I've got the radio on, if I'm not listening to YouTube on my phone, I listen to one particular station, local classic rock station.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being bombarded with these different rock bands renditions of Christmas music.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to listen to Christmas music, I'd listen to like a pop station or top 40, what have you.
I'd go back to the classics.
Yeah. I'd switch over to AM, listen to some Bing Crosby or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen to some Bing Crosby. Listen to, um, damn it, who was the musician that was always part of the Claymations?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because there was one that was always in charge of those Claymation Christmas movies music, and I'd listen to his shit.
Oh, you're talking like with Hermes the dentist and the abominable snowman and whatnot, right?
Yeah, and I'm talking the I'm Mr.
Yukon Cornelius.
Miser, I'm Mr. Cold.
Yeah, I don't recall who that is. But yeah, I could handle some of that stuff. No
Yeah.
problem. I just don't want to hear like Bono singing about a white Christmas after like hearing Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Yep.
I don't want to. I don't want to hear Freddie Mercury singing about sleigh bells and whatnot.
See, I wouldn't mind Freddie Mercury just because Freddie Mercury can actually sing.
Yes, he
Could.
can, and I enjoy his singing. But I don't want to. I don't want to mix my Christmas
You
music.
don't want
and
to
rock
mix your
music.
genres?
Yeah, I don't want my chocolate getting dipped in that peanut butter. All right.
Mm-hmm. See, to me, the part that I don't want a good chunk of them is I listen to a good chunk of them and I'm going, you can't sing. Why are you trying to do Crosby? You can't sing like Crosby. He actually had a good voice.
I don't want electric guitar in my Christmas music. Okay.
Not even Jingle Bell Rock.
That's an exception to the rule.
Now, see, I can go through an entire Bad Religion album with Christmas songs.
Wait, Bad Religion has a Christmas album?
Yeah.
Okay, well they're not playing that on my radio station, unfortunately. I might you may have found another loophole, sir.
No, the Christmas album is quite possibly one of my favorites.
Tier says sound gay, hate. I mean, $20 is $20. What do you want me to say?
Nice. But yeah, it just drives me crazy because there's so many things that there's really good Christmas songs. You don't need to have shitty people make Christmas songs. And I'm sick and tired of Mariah Carey's Christmas song.
Oh God, that is
An occasional Christmas song, perfectly fine. Constant Christmas song, constant Mariah Carey. No, fuck that.
well. I mean, even if like the radio station had like, okay, we're gonna do a block of these.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. At least that way I know like there's a definite. I just don't want them being sprung on me like randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we're gonna play like a block of like 5 songs, back to back to back to back. No commercials. We're just doing some Christmas tunes at the top of the hour. All right, fine. But see, they're not playing Trans-Siberian Orchestra on the radio station either. There are exceptions. I will give you exceptions.
Yeah.
There are exceptions.
But Bono isn't one of them. All right.
Just fuck Bono. The one thing that I love one thing that I love that involves Bono is the story of his concert in Scotland.
That was Billy. Oh shit.
Billy Connolly.
Conley, yes, that was Billy Conley's bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, Billy Connolly's bit about the concert in Scotland.
Was it Glasgow?
Yeah, I think it was in Glasgow. And Bono's up on stage and he just starts. Every time I clap my hands, a child in Africa starves to death. Stop clapping your hands, you get!
Yeah.
Yeah, Vandals are good.
That's the only thing that I'm okay with Bono for. He made.
I
it
mean,
possible for
I
that
did like
joke.
I did like the South Park episode.
Biddy.
Bono want the biddy?
Biddy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Bono's just a massive asshole. Fuck Bono.
Just a
Especially,
massive turd. Yeah.
have you looked into how much his charity actually gives?
No, I don't care about his charity. I don't even care about his music. That's the thing that he's supposed to be famous for.
Yep.
I don't give a single solitary shit about the man. I don't want to hear him at Christmas time
The thing
or
is,
really
that
any other time.
the thing is, he actually does put out music. Now, the quality of that music varies greatly. The fact that he's known for a charity, when it's something like 1% of the money that that charity gets actually goes to the cause.
What's the other 99% go on? Sunglasses and those douchey hats?
It goes to administrative costs.
So sunglasses and those douchey hats.
And douchey adverts that he pays himself to do, yes.
Doesn't sound like much of a charity.
Yep. That's the thing that pisses me off about a lot of charities, though. When you actually look at a lot of charities, a good chunk of them give less than 90%, or give less than 10%. Sorry. Less than 90%. That would be still amazing. If they gave 85%, I'd be perfectly fucking happy with most charities. An obscene number of charities give less than 10% to what they're actually saying that they're giving money to. To me, that isn't a fucking
Aren't there
charity.
aren't there websites that you can reference to see what percentage of donations?
Yeah, there's a
charity
number
receives?
of sites that you can look up that will tell you how much different charities give. And one of the best ones tends to be is it the Salvation Army, James, that gives like 95% or some shit like that? One of the major charities that is Christian aligned
They actually
has,
walk the walk. So
yeah, they have like a 95% of their takes actually go to what they're giving to. And there's a bunch of others that are also either smaller charities that give like 99% or large ones that are backed by churches or a few other sorts of groups that give high 90s. But a obscene number, or like, yeah, they give somewhere between 0.5 and 3% to charity. And you're just going, what the fuck?
yeah, that's
How is this a
disgusting.
charity?
Well, I mean, somebody's getting paid off of it. You know, somebody's getting their food and shelter and clothing paid for. That's charitable, right?
It's just infuriating because I don't consider when you give $100 to charity, you're now giving them 50 cents. That isn't a charity. 50 cents of $100 goes to what you're actually trying to give money to. That's not a charity.
Now, haven't there been some things about the Salvation Army that people have pointed at?
People
and said,
don't like the Salvation Army because there have been incidents with the Salvation Army not being progressive enough, shall we phrase it that way?
Well, last thing I heard about them actually was them embracing CRT or something.
Oh, okay. If they've gone that way, then
No, the criticism I want to say were attributed to the Salvation Army that I'm recalling had to deal with some of their programs with like addicts and whatnot, like getting them like rehabilitated in the workforce, working for the Salvation Army. I don't know if it had to do with conditions they were working under or something. I can't remember.
Because
that's why I was asking. Like, I want to say I recall there being criticisms about the Salvation Army, but one of the things you couldn't point at was like how they were spending the money that was donated to them.
I remember there being a issue where the Salvation Army was funding a number of shelters that they weren't acknowledging trans
Okay.
and
I mean,
shit
so
like that.
yeah, there've been, but no, like the ones I was thinking of were like more substantial, like dealing with like I said, I want to say, people that were working through them as part of like a rehabilitation effort.
Yeah, I'm not sure I remember the exact ones that you're talking about, so I can't really speak to those. I
Right.
know that there have been issues that have been brought up about the Salvation Army. Some of them have been
I could
issues that I'm
be
going, okay, yeah, that does seem kind of questionable. Others have been issues that I'm going,
I
okay,
could be
that
mistaking them for a whole different
whatever.
organization altogether.
Yep.
But James says their CEO makes less than 30K and gets room and board. Wow.
Yeah, like I said,
That's impressive. Like I said, if you're willing to walk the walk like that, I would consider donating to you.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. The Salvation Army tends to be one of the ones that's rather high up there. There's a lot of others that tend to be fairly high up. Like what is it? Samaritan's Purse. That's the big Christian medical one, right?
I'm unfamiliar.
I want to say it's either Samaritan's Purse or Pilgrim's Purse. It's something's purse.
I'm only aware of like the big names, Red Cross, Doctors Without Borders, Salvation Army, stuff like that.
Yep. Doctors Without Borders tends to be fairly decent.
Hey Johnny, is your chat frozen? I haven't seen it move in a while, and there's some things James said that hasn't popped up on screen. Oh wait, no, there it is.
No, that's
Okay. Just chat's kind of slow. That's all.
Yep. But yeah, it is just what the hell when you hear about some of them, because you're going, the fuck no, this is, god damn it, people, give money to charity, and when you claim that you're a charity, actually give them your money. Don't just take 99.5% and go, see, we're charitable, we're giving 0.5% to charity. Fuck you.
well. I do apologize, but I am going to have to call it because I am starting to fade pretty hard.
Copy that.
Fair enough.
We are going to move on to parting thoughts. We'll start with you, Sanguine.
I'll leave off with my standard of, if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you.
And Camel.
I guess my standard now is becoming the trusty Will Rogers quote of never pass up a good opportunity to shut up.
And just to respond to what Tyrannus just said, yeah, charity absolutely starts at home. Start with giving to small organizations around you that you can actually hold to account and have an effect in your area. That's far better use than trying to give to one of the massive charities that's all over the fucking world.
Or if you want to
tend
be
piss it away.
Or if you want to be a literalist, like I have been accused of being from time to time, it literally starts at home. Be there,
Yep.
take care of your family and your friends, and move outward.
Yep, exactly. You start with the local and you move out.
Yeah.
And what's more local than in your own fucking house?
Indeed. And I will go with a relatively new one. They say life is a gift. Yeah, I'll keep the receipt.
Nice.
And with that, the zoo is closed.
Have a good night, all.
Later, everybody.